Oh, hey, didn't see you there. What's up, world? I'm Brian Gannon, and welcome to Teen Talk. This is a talk show dedicated to the teen population here at the Attleboro YMCA. We will cover a whole loads of things here during this talk, but first, what I will do is introduce you to our first special guest, Jackson Burt.
How you doing, guys? I'm
Hey, Jackson.
Hi. How you doing?
How are you?
Pretty good. It's late at night right now, so day's winding down. I had a pretty good day today. How about you?
Good. Same thing. Doing well. Thriving.
Nice.
So during this talk show, what we will cover is several different topics. We'll try to reach out to our teens here at the Y and kind of talk to you about whole loads of things. Current events, news flash, hot topics. We'll have different segments that are called different things throughout this time here. And then we'll interview Jackson, sorta, with a bunch of different questions. And then we'll play a game. Simple as that. So we'll just kind of go with the flow, talk, see who we have on the show week to week. Catch us every Thursday, 5 o'clock. We'll be here talking. Maybe Jackson will make several appearances, and we'll have a lot of our friends that are around the Y. So going forward, current events. How about that?
Crazy.
I guess there's news from space, I guess.
Basically from space, yeah.
Okay. Alpha Centauri is a star cluster, light years away from here.
A neighboring one, even though it's
somewhere,
very far away.
Somewhere. Apparently they heard radio waves coming from this star.
Yeah, from Alpha Centauri. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah,
Do you know anything about that?
It came in, NASA had confirmed that they got radio signals from there, which is strange because radio signals don't show up in space unless you're sending them, and basically they're saying that something sent it or some device sent it. It could just be a random floating probe.
So what you're saying, aliens?
Aliens.
Look at that. We've got people coming from different stars now.
Yeah, honestly, it's out of this world.
Good one.
Thank you.
Another current event, as you can tell, I'm sure everyone understands that we're going through a global pandemic at the moment. So COVID-19, how about that? Kind of old news almost.
It's old news.
As you can see, Jackson and I are 6 feet apart. We measured it carefully to make sure that we were following all the COVID guidelines. If we end up playing our game, we'll be wearing our masks. We just need to make sure that we're wearing our masks throughout any building we go to. If you're working out at the gym, anything like that, you got to make sure that you're wearing your masks all the time, right?
Absolutely. Be safe as much as you can.
I've got my mask right here. It's kind of not cool, but
Mine's
that's kind of
flowers.
like me.
I got this one at Walmart. Pretty good quality.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
You can get masks anywhere nowadays. They're a really hot topic. As we get into
gets us into something else.
So our next segment is either you can call it hot topic, news flash, or anything like that. It'll kind of be just, a random fact. Doesn't necessarily have to be current events. Just a random fact that we know off the top of our heads. For example, if you throw I know. If you take an object and you rub it up against the wall, it sticks.
It sticks.
We could demonstrate that in weeks later if we come up with a science.
There's a lot of videos of it. It's the glitch in the Matrix.
Oh yeah. So that's a random fact. You have any random facts that you know?
Probably a lot.
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, I know. Thank you so much. I appreciate my agent calling me about saying that I can be a special guest on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? This is perfect. So we'll just mention this. Our man behind the camera, Brent, had just told me about 5 minutes ago that the clap thing that they got in movies, when they click it down, that actually marks in the audio that's where they start filming and that's where they cut off the thing, which I never even knew about. So I mean, like, thank you to Brent. He's giving me a thumbs up. He's also saying stop talking. Thank you. Let's go ahead, keep going.
Oh, well, I hope you continue talking, because our couple segments will be asking you questions about your life.
I'm excited. Bring it on.
So
Take
really,
sip of this.
but first, we just got to know a couple things. What's the point with TikTok? You and I are old people.
Yes.
We don't understand the new craze of TikTok. I grew up with Facebook. You probably grew up with the Snapchats
I also grew up with Facebook. I got it when I was 13.
I don't understand
It's
this TikTok. I don't get it. Never
some
will.
Some of the videos are very funny. I do have to say that. Like, it's like Vine. I'm sure that you remember
Mm-hmm.
Vine. I enjoyed it. It was still kind of cringy, if you will, and the same thing with TikTok. I mean, like,
Every time I
just
see
old.
people dancing to TikToks,
That's-
I cringe.
that's weird.
Awful.
Because they're not doing their own dancing, they're copying other people. You know?
Exactly.
Do some
Do
different
your
ones.
own thing.
Yeah. And now we're done
Um,
with being old people. Continue.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
And judgmental. Yeah, no offense towards anyone that appreciates it. We're not supposed to be mean.
So next we'll get to interviewing you.
Great. Awesome.
Really just coming up with a few questions. You can talk about your life and whatnot.
Cool.
But really, one thing, can you talk about your career here at the Y and what you did here?
Like previous years
Yeah.
and stuff? Absolutely. So I started working here around 2012 or 2013. And later I've been working there ever since. I grew up here, specifically at downtown where my dad used to work. And my mom works there also, where I kind of just grew up in that area. So when I got the chance to get hired here, I totally took it full stride. I worked at camp with Brian. Later on, I worked at Teen Center with Brian and Brent. I ran birthdays. I hosted birthday parties. I did my own program at one point, Leaders Club. Now I work here at the Scholastic Support Center. And honestly, my main thing that I've realized is just I get to meet new people, new kids. As people have told me, I just kind of get my own flock going on of kids that just gravitate towards me, and we all just have like similar interests. We all hang out, play board games. That's my favorite thing to do, just kind of like hang out, do art activities, board games, and just kind of like get people into new hobbies or talents, if you will.
So you could say you've enjoyed changing people's lives and being an impact to their
definitely,
lives.
and how they changed me too. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the people that changed me.
Okay. What is one thing that you've learned from working with the youth and working with teens?
It's definitely difficult to work in it at first if you don't have any experience. It's scary for everyone, including the kids, not only the staff, to change your way of thinking, to try to go in full stride with problems that arise, where there will be problems, but you'll learn how to help them. And I have to say, in the years that I've worked, I've gotten a lot of skills that change those situations and help people who need it. And there's still things that I don't even know about that I need to learn. And to give like an example, Brian has worked longer than me, and I've learned so many things from him, and just kind of like been inspired to continue working here.
Awesome. And what is some advice that you might give a teen, especially going through a global pandemic, maybe?
Keep in touch with your friends, even if it means like video chatting, texting them, check in on people who don't really talk to you anymore, because I know that I still try to do that. A lot of my friends are just kind of sitting at home alone, not working, so I want to keep in touch with them to see how they're doing, if they're mentally okay, if they're trying to enjoy themselves, finding a new hobby, maybe even like helping them with a new hobby if they need to like get supplies for it. Maybe you can help them out if you want to get one of them into your own hobbies. Just trying to keep us together even if we're apart.
And I know Jackson and I hang out a lot outside of work, and we try to keep in touch with each other and make sure that we're doing all right too. Because I mean, this time period is a tough time for a lot of
people. It's scary,
people.
it's stressful. Yeah, we're not all different people. We're all experiencing the same thing. So if we get to help each other, then bring it on. You know?
I mean, everyone's heard it. We're all in this together, and your friends are there to support you.
Just keep watching High School Musical. I mean, that's where you got most of it.
That's fair. What's your favorite color?
See, you would say the same thing. It depends on the day.
Yep.
I have to say, recently I've gotten really into green. It might be because of my tattoos, but it just it really vibes with me, if I'm going to use that word correctly.
For me, it's really like I wake up and like, depending on how my mood is almost, that's kind of how the color changes.
I respect that. Yeah, no, definitely.
And sometimes I'll notice, oh, wow, look at that green tree. I really
cool.
like that today.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't know if that's how it is with you.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I have to say I've never been able to answer that question full honesty. Like, I usually say rainbow, and then someone says that isn't a color, and I'm like, but I like all the colors. I say clear, and then people say that isn't a color, but what color is water? And like then we get into a debate, and
I mean, there are colors I don't like. I would.
There are
not
certain ones
see.
that I'm like, I just don't like that.
Yeah.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Makes sense. Is there any music that you're recently into that maybe is new or something?
Recently, before Corona, BC, if you will, Brian got me into 21 Pilots, and I went a good time just getting really into it, and then I went a good couple weeks not listening to it, and now I've recently just kind of been driving around listening to that music.
Nice.
And like
Cool.
the older 21 Pilots, not like newest stuff where
yeah.
everyone knows it, just the genuine good things.
Cool. I've actually been listening to they're called M83.
M83.
They're old. Not old, like early
from
2000s.
1983?
No, like the early 2000s or
thinking.
something. They have a song. It's called something Midnight. It kind of
sounds like a really good song.
Techno, like it's got like an 80s vibe to it, kind of too.
Would you say like Muse?
More like what's the guy's name? The Weeknd.
Okay, I understand now.
So kind of like the 80s vibes to it, and I really like it.
That sounds really cool.
Check them out. Check 21 Pilots out because they're really cool too.
That's another thing that you can do. Just get into new music. That's the most fun that you could do, even outside of this pandemic. Like that's just it builds
Also,
character.
Lord Heron is
Lord Heron
highly
is really
suggested.
good. Yeah, that's fancy stuff right there.
So I guess our last segment will be games, and we can introduce several games that you can do at your house with your friends during this pandemic. Simple card games, simple board games. There's games that we can play online that are Jackbox games that we might play.
You can make your own that work on Zoom or Google Meets or anything like that. Like you could do a card game. You could just have them have another deck and like just mix it all together. So
for today, what we're gonna do, this is a Teen Center trademarked game. We call it Joker's Jumble. We'll demonstrate and we'll kind of go through what you're gonna do. This game originated from us sitting around at Teen Center, doing nothing, and pulling cards from a pile, and created a game. So do you want to kind of go over what the game entails?
Absolutely. I'll do that, and then I'll put on my mask and we can start getting into it. All right. So like Brian said, it was invented with us just pulling cards and just hanging out, as we usually do in Teen Center. And hence, in the name of saying it, Joker's Jumble, it's obviously going to be involving the Jokers. And we're using these cards so then they're, big enough for you to see. And it's more helpful that way. So what you do, you get 2 Jokers, preferably 2. You could do 1. I've done 1 a lot. and you put it into a deck of cards. It can be any normal deck of cards. You don't need to take anything out. It is preferred that you have kind of a random card put in. Sometimes cards have like ads on them. You can use that. We have a specific name for it, but you can just call it like the mystery card or whatever you want to name it. And so basically, you shuffle the deck, and you create it into a pile, or like the name suggests,
Jumble.
A jumble, yeah. It's a fancy way of saying it. And honestly, these cards, I'm starting to regret them because they are not easy to shuffle.
Well, you can also just put them on the table
Yeah, I
and
could
shuffle
just
them
mix
into a
them too.
pile,
I could
into
be
a
all
jumble.
crazy with it. Here, we'll do this. But anyways, the object of it is to get the Joker or one of the Jokers. If you guess that it's the Joker and pick up the card and it is the Joker, you automatically win. I mean, you know, good for you. If you call the Joker and you don't get it, and it isn't any other card except for that, you put that aside and the other person would go. If you don't call the Joker and you pick up the Joker, it's worth 20 points. You don't win automatically, but you get to keep that in front of you, and that's kind of like your point thing. You can also call other cards. For example, because I'm looking at this right now, you could say, all right, I'm going to think that this card is a king. And you flip it up. Oh, my God, it's a king. That is worth, I believe we
10
said,
points,
10
I think.
points. Awesome. It's been so long since we played this. We need more people to play it with. You put that down, and that's worth 10 points. If you guess the suit, which this one, let's say I guess that it's a heart, and it turns out to be a heart, that's 5 points. And now I have 15 points together. If you guess both things correctly, such as if I guess that this was the 6 of diamonds, it'd be 15. And that's kind of like the whole thing as you continue going along. And the point system is only there to like help you with in case
End of
no one
game,
wins.
yeah.
Yeah, the end of game. If someone has more points than the other person, if you get the Joker and you guess it right, then you get it one.
Yeah, and you get the Joker, you guess it right, you get 20 points. Someone can still beat you if they had pulled the more cards than you and everything. But typically, if you pull the Joker and it's correct, you get 20 points. You surpass them and end up winning the game.
And then should we describe the mystery card too?
I mean, the mystery card is just yeah.
Okay. We have another name for it, but just to kind of give you guys like a different name, we call it the mystery card now. You try to... There's a card in here. I use to say it's the Ace of Spades just because I don't have a filler card right now. And if you get that at any time and you don't call it, you're kicked out of the game. It's just kind of like it kicks you out, you're done. If you guess that it's that card, so if you say, all right, this one's the mystery card, and you flip it up, and it is, you get to throw that at someone else and kick them out of the game. And then if it's only just 2 people, you would win. And it's kind of a little like sneaky way of winning. But if we want,
we can do a quick round and just pile it up.
Let's see if I can do this well enough. We need like Jeopardy music with this. Yeah, there we go.
So Jackson, you can pull first.
Well, thank you so much. All right, I am going to think that this one is the 10 of hearts. And it's the hearts. It was the one that I used in the example. That
5
works out pretty
points.
well. Yeah, so 5 points. I put that face
right.
up in front of me.
So then I'll go. I'm gonna think right here is the Joker.
Oh, see, he's being tricky with this.
And I will not. And it was not.
That's the other option too. If you don't want someone else to see your cards, you can keep them face down. So then now I don't know what that card is, and I could easily call it, and he has it. Like it's no way of me getting it. But all right, so I'm gonna think that. You know, we'll do this. I think this is the Joker card, and well, that ended really quickly.
All right. Well, there we go, folks. That's the end of the. Jackson is the winner.
I'm the Joker.
Good
wow.
job. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That was great.
Well,
that worked out way
It's
too
a
well.
simple game you can play. It originated from
The ancient Mayans.
it originated from us doing nothing and sitting around just talking, and that really is. If you're sitting at home during quarantine or sitting at a computer doing schoolwork, there's other things you can be doing as well to kind of get your mind to focus. and that's kind of what we did with that game, and it created something that we
honestly, I show that to
brought
everyone.
to camp.
Yeah, I played that with my family. I played that with my friends. They're all huge fans of it. My younger cousins like it too. It's such a simple game to learn, and like Brian said, you could make up anything. Like if you have siblings or you hang out with your family a lot, like instead of sitting behind a computer or whatever works, you can make up games, play them, be entertained. Like I said, you want to stay together even though that we're all like apart and trying to like deal with this stress in separate ways. We want to try to have fun with our life at least.
So game's been played. We've talked to Jackson for a little bit. We talked about random stuff. Hopefully this hits off and we can bring in more things, bring in more guests, maybe have a couple of our teen center people come in and do a video chat or something with us. Bring in maybe a couple staff members we can talk to about random things.
Celebrities. We can get like important entrepreneur. Elon Musk. We can get anyone you want. All right, as long as you donate. No.
No. It's been great, and again, this is just a thing we're trying to do to connect to people, just how you're trying to connect to friends. We're trying to connect to you and get you thinking about certain things. I know I had fun.
I had a blast. This was a lot better than I thought.
Yeah, we kind of just whipped it together real quick.
We have been doing that for the last couple of minutes. We're having a blast with this.
But
we got our mugs.
You can join us every Thursday at 5 o'clock. We'll cover certain topics, whether it's camp, whether it's leadership. We might do random things like we did today, do games, all sorts of things. And if you leave a comment under our video and you give us a like and give us some ideas to talk about, we can talk about them.
Absolutely.
As long as they're rightfully appropriate and something that is beneficial to you. So hopefully everyone enjoyed this.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we'll see you next week. At the end of each show, I will draw a bingo ball from the spinner
bingo
right
cage,
here.
Whatever it's called.
And I will just let you know what the winning number is.
If you got that number, you win a free high five from Brian Gannon.
Yeah.
Only the right hand.
So we're looking for number 064. 064 is the winner.
Congratulations.
Right hand, high five.
Great job.
See you next week.
Love it. See you guys.